Gentlemen, welcome. It's been eventful. The Braves hired a brand new manager in Walt Weiss. Georgia Tech drops a game they shouldn't. Georgia survives against Florida, handle Mississippi State. And the United hired Tata Martino back to be their new manager, but a lot more to get to. My name is Red Rocket. I'm your host, joined by my man out of the Army, Parker Reason, his father, and my uncle, Jim Reason, head coach at Duluth High School. And this is Georgia Sports with Georgia Boys, our first guest.
Brookwood.
Formerly Duluth, now I'm Brookwood.
Or Duluth, now coaching at Brookwood, yes.
It's been a while, but welcome. It's been cold here. My girlfriend is asking, did it snow yesterday or today?
It did. We had a bunch of flurries up here up in Gwinnett County. Nothing stuck,
That's cool.
but they got a couple inches in Valdosta
Really?
and in the southern part of the state, and Gatlinburg got 7 inches. So it's been really cold. We got some flurries, but nothing stuck.
Okay. Interesting. Parker was here a week ago or a couple weeks ago to film, so we are back. We were sticking to a 2-week schedule. Today is Veterans Day, so thank you, Parker. Thank you for all our veterans out there, Grandpa, and many more.
Sir, love our veterans.
Great day. Let's go ahead and start with Georgia Tech because Georgia Tech is this side of the family's main team. They just released the rankings today. We are one up 16. Miami at 7-2 is at 15 ahead of us, which I think is a bit of a joke, but we just got to handle our business. The past 2 weeks we were gone. Went to NC State, fell in a very sad fashion. Haynes King, though, put up 511 yards, 4 total touchdowns, but it's not enough. We lose 46-38, and then we just had our bye week. So, Uncle Jim, just give us your thoughts on the season so far, and then 2 weeks ago, lost to NC State, and how are we feeling as Georgia Tech fans right now?
Oh, I think we're feeling all right. As a diehard Tech fan, as you guys are too, I think if anybody would have said at the beginning of the season, "Hey, you're going to be 8-1 after 9 games," I don't think there's a Tech fan out there that would have not taken that, right? I think they probably would assume maybe the one loss would have been Clemson, and everything. But you're seeing, the ACC's always been very chaotic. It's very rarely do you have anybody go through undefeated. And it just may be college football in whole, where I think you're probably at best going to have only two undefeateds this year, probably Ohio State and Indiana. And that's it. And Indiana's Big Ten schedule, their last 5 opponents are like 3-23. So it's not like they're beating world beaters either, right? But any road game the ACC scares you. We didn't do, we played excellent on offense. The defense just didn't show up. They looked outcoached. They looked like they were playing on their heels the whole night. The corners were bailing on, 10, 15-yard, drops, allowing them to complete just the easiest passes underneath. And it's almost like we were like playing to, try to outscore them and not try to stop them. I mean, when you put 580 yards total offense, 36 points, and you should have had, as I was telling Parker earlier, Haynes King scored on that.
Yeah.
At least he looked like he scored
on
that quarterback sneak. And then I think the drive after that, we dropped two passes right in their hands at the 5-yard line that could have been another touchdown. It could have been a field goal game, if not, a tie game. So I think offensively, I thought that might have been Buster's best game he ever called. And we executed it, but defensively it was awful. I mean, it didn't even look like we even tried to. I mean, there was no resistance. So, look, you got Boston College. Got them on the road. I think if it's home, everybody'd be feeling really good. But I don't care if you're 1-9. You're always looking to play spoiler at this point. So, I think if we go there, then we get Pitt at home. We win that one. We're in the AC championship game, and then the Georgia game is like you can solidify the trip to the college football playoffs, even if you lose the ACC game. So a lot to go on, but they just need to worry about taking care of Boston College.
Yeah, because last year we saw that if you went to the conference championship game and lost, it didn't hurt you, like with SMU. So all we got to do is just get there, I think, and then we should be okay. Because I think only one ACC team's going to get in unless we make it and then we lose to somebody. But yeah, because me and Parker were saying like an underrated part of Tech's success this year was the defense, and then they go out there and poop
Yeah.
their pants, which isn't good because this Pitt quarterback, this freshman guy, is insane. Which, if they go out and beat Notre Dame at home, I'm a little bit scared. So
Thing
Yeah,
is,
I'll
though,
agree. I'll agree. If Pitt takes out Notre Dame, then we've got to, yeah. But look,
that could be our ticket in the
that's
playoff if
right.
we
That's
can beat
right.
them. Even if we lose to
mhm.
Georgia, that's a team that would, if we lose to, would probably go to the ACC championship. I feel like this is going to be a game where we have more to lose than anything, just because both teams have a shot at the ACC title with this game.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, we lose to Pitt, but we beat Georgia, and then you got the ACC championship with two lost teams. The team that loses that championship is going to have three losses. They're not getting in.
Yeah.
And then we're sitting there with two losses, didn't make the game, but we beat Georgia. That definitely gives us a chance to slide in an at-large. So,
Yeah, because Georgia could easily get into the SEC championship game before we play them. Like if Bama slips up against Oklahoma or Texas A&M or something. So there's definitely still a path. But Parker, I was looking at the odds, and Haynes King is at 100-1 odds right now to win the Heisman, which I feel like is very, yeah. I think he should at least go to New York, but I just don't.
He's obviously not going to win it, even though he is the most valuable player in college football, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's just not going to win it because, one, he's on tech,
Hmm.
and, you know, that loss really did hurt. You know, like, it doesn't make him any less of a player, but people are going to look at it and be like, well, they lost to 4-4 NC State. And even if NC State wins out, they beat Miami, they finished the year 8-4, it's still got people are still going to use it against him. He
Yeah.
really just needs like a legacy moment versus Georgia if he wants to get to New York, which I think is definitely possible.
Or like a game-winning drive against Pitt or something like that.
Yeah.
monster game this week, like you did against NC State, and Tech wins. And then you're probably going to get a nighttime Bobby Dodd game next week against Pitt, and then you're going to get a nationally televised game in the Mercedes-Benz against Georgia, and then a nationally televised game for the ACC championship game. If they can go 4-0, and he can be a big reason why they go 4-0. That's going to help. I think that gets him to New York. The problem is there's too many damn sports writers out there who they are so just enamored with, okay, the guy who wins it has to come from a team that's undefeated. It's got to come from the team that is ranked in the top five. It has
Hmm.
to be that person. It stopped going to the best player in the nation a long time ago, and it goes to the best player in a lot of cases on the best team.
I think the
And
last time it truly went to the best player was like maybe Lamar Jackson back in 2016,
yeah,
who
Well,
played on a smaller ACC team.
Fernando Mendoza this week, led the game-winning drive and all that stuff. But before that
yeah,
last drive, he was playing awful.
yeah.
Hmm.
Well, look, Penn State, play your safeties 40-yard deep. You got a minute and a half to go, and you're playing a cover two, and you're bailing your safeties 40-yard deep. I could complete two passes down the middle for
Yeah.
30 yards. That was just atrocious defense by Penn State, who ironically the interim head coach is their defense coordinator. But that was just
Hmm.
atrocious defense. Those were not hard passes. Now look, give the guy who made the catch in the end zone, that was freaking phenomenal
Yeah, but he
catch.
overthrew
But
that
I mean,
ball. If he throws that ball on
yeah,
target, he
but
doesn't have to make that catch.
oh, agreed. But I mean, you find me a decent high school quarterback, they could have completed two passes like that to those guys down the middle if you're bailing your safeties 40-yard deep. So I'm not, you know,
I
Yeah.
think Mendoza could definitely benefit from another year in college. He will go to the NFL though, but I don't
Yeah.
think he's as pro ready as a lot of people are saying. I think he'll
Well,
probably be in New York if Indiana remains undefeated.
probably.
Do
It's
they
it's
play Ohio State in
no,
the
not
next few
until the
games?
championship
no,
game. He's gonna
not
get
until the
there.
championship
They've
game.
got they've got 2 games against Cupcakes.
Yeah.
I think the rest of the
Yeah.
way.
So I mean, you're looking going into the playoffs, there's going to be one undefeated team in the nation, and that's going to be either Indiana or Ohio State, whoever wins the Big Ten title.
Yeah.
So I think if you look at Georgia Tech and they're 11-1 and they lose the ACC championship game, I mean, you're looking at most teams are going to have two losses, or a lot of teams are going to have two losses. And if they're 11-1, that means they beat Georgia.
Mhm.
who's going to be a top five team. How do you leave them out?
Yeah.
But
Well, thing
as
is,
Georgia
NC
Tech fans,
State.
we know we don't exactly, aren't exactly known for catching a lot of breaks sometimes
Well, I
with
keep
the national
saying
media.
this, and I feel like a lot of people are underestimating what NC State can do for the rest of the season, and that loss could end up looking a lot better on us if they beat Virginia, they
Mm-hmm.
beat
And
us, and
Miami.
they could very well beat
Yeah.
Miami next week.
Yeah.
A desperate Miami team, I could definitely see Carson Beck throwing another one of his stinkers, and this quarterback just absolutely exposing them.
There's so much there's so much that can happen ahead of us to help us move up as well. Like Texas and Georgia both are ahead of us, and they both have to play each other. Oklahoma has to play
Right.
Alabama; they're ahead of each other.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
so, as long as we take care of business, I think we'll be good. So let's go on the record and give our official predictions because next time we get on, it'll be after the Pitt game. So, are we going to win this week against Boston College? Yes or no? I say yes.
Absolutely, I think we're gonna play pretty angry. I think Key's gonna get the guys fired up. I think Haynes, as much as the Heisman campaign is rolling, I think dude's not even gonna play the second half. That's how bad it's gonna be.
I think we win. I think it's closer in the first half. I think we probably do a little better in the second half. I think we pull away, but yeah, I think we win. Yeah.
And then we host Pitt at home. Probably, I would guess based off the rankings I just saw, Pitt's at 22 and they're playing Notre Dame. Iowa lost to Oregon and only dropped one spot from 20 to 21. So I'm gonna guess Pitt is still gonna be ranked if they lose to Notre Dame. So a ranked matchup. I think it'll be tight. Probably higher scoring than I would like, but I think we're gonna win at home because I just have that feeling it's one of those seasons of destiny, like back in
Yeah.
2014.
Well, we were talking about this earlier. I'll give my prediction in a minute, but we know Pitt's gonna get their college game day this week. But do you think there's any chance they'll bring it back for another ranked matchup? Probably the most important ACC game of the season at this point.
I think if Pitt beats Notre Dame, I think absolutely. If Tech wins, if Pitt wins. Yeah, you're looking at a 9-1 Pitt and 9-1 Georgia Tech for basically a winner take all for the ACC championship game. So yeah, I think it's very good. We could get college game day down
Yeah,
there.
because
That could be
that's cupcake
beneficial.
weekend for the SEC.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. I think if we win this weekend, you got to look at two things. How does Brent Key play against ranked opponents in the ACC? He's pretty darn good. How is Brent Key's teams at home in the last 2 years? Well, undefeated. So if we win this weekend, then yeah, I think we can beat Pitt, and then it sets up a big showdown for Georgia.
Yeah, I will take Pitt in a or not Pitt, Georgia Tech in a shootout, just because it does feel like the miracle season. It does feel like this is where Haynes King could cement a spot in New York even before the Georgia game, and we saw how much a home field advantage does mean
yeah,
against when we played NC State, because it's not like we just went out there and played like bums. At least not the offense.
exactly.
So home field advantage, especially. Yeah, I've been to two games this year. He's been the one. We've seen the difference
Hmm.
in the crowd the last as the season's gone on. So I think
Yeah.
with home field advantage, we're angry. We got everything to lose in the next two games against them and
Let's
Georgia.
pack
We're gonna come out fighting.
that Pitt game, and if we keep this up 11-1, I think that's good enough to host a playoff game, which I think would be pretty cool for Georgia Tech. But we're gonna go an hour and a half east to Athens, Georgia. We're not gonna stay too long on these guys, but they play Florida in a tighter game than you would think, especially how DJ Lagway just got benched this past weekend. Had a few controversial calls that, was it a fumble? Was it not? Was it a catch? Whatever. Georgia, they come from behind to get it done, and then they go to Mississippi State, hang 41 on them, handle their business. They looked pretty complete. Gunnar Stockton, talking about Heisman, is now 30-1 to win the Heisman, which higher than Haynes. I don't understand. He has they have he's played good in moments, but Haynes King as a whole has done more for his team, even though the Georgia defense has been bad this year. They've got Texas coming to town this week, followed by Charlotte, and then the Tech game. We'll start with you, Uncle Jim. Do you think Georgia beats Texas, who's been rolling of late, especially with Arch playing good? I don't know if the defense has got themselves in check yet or not.
Yeah, they beat them, and here's why. Um, it comes down to who's better coach, and Kirby's a better coach than Sarkisian. I think it's going to be a close game. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if Georgia gets down. They always get down, and they always come back. So what does that tell you? What coach is making adjustments at halftime?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you're giving up 21 to Tennessee. You're giving up, 17 to Alabama or 24 to Alabama. You're giving up all these points in the first quarter, first half, and then they're shutting them down. So brings up 2 points. Are you game planning horribly in the first half and then you're adjusting, or is it that the other team's out game planning you and you're adjusting? But Georgia always seems to adjust so much better halftime adjustments. And if it was at Texas, I'd probably pick Texas. But being at Georgia, as painful as it is, I think probably Georgia wins. Close game. So
Yeah.
they're
Well,
probably 10-1 going into the Tech game.
yeah. Well, and the reason the Gunners throwing the ball so much is they can't run the ball, Parker. They can't.
No.
Like, and that Texas defense is pretty good at stopping the run. So
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think if
It's gonna be tight.
I don't know if Gunner really is what UGA fans think he is, then he's gonna. I think the only way they win this is if he has a legacy game, and I feel like a lot of people are counting out how good Texas is, and I feel like they're starting to get it all together. So I'm gonna pick Texas this
Oh,
time. I think they walk into Sanford and they shock the world, and it doesn't fully eliminate Georgia from the playoff, but it also makes Tech, now an absolute must-win game,
yeah. Which
which I think is even better for the game. I think the stakes, because now it's a must-win for both of us, really.
would you rather the game? We've talked about this, Uncle Jim. Would you rather the game be must win for both sides, or just another game for Georgia?
Yeah, see, here's the problem. Kirby Kirby cannot stand losing to Georgia Tech. I mean, it just would grate him in every way possible
That's
to have
true.
Georgia Tech be a lower ACC team. They don't have the budget. They don't have the rankings, blah, blah, blah. They shouldn't beat us. So I don't know. To me, it doesn't matter. Georgia could be 6-6 and or 12-0, and they're still gonna want to make sure they beat Georgia Tech, especially now that Tech's on the national map
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But let's look at it. Look at the last first 2 years, or second two. Let's see what after Georgia O'Leary's first year. Okay, they lost to Georgia by one. Georgia kicked a field goal last second, beat them by one, and then Georgia scored a touchdown with 40 seconds to go, beat them by three, and then so two heartbreakingly close losses. And then what happened? Boom, boom, boom. Tech reeled off three in a row. I'm kind of sensing, last 2 years they only won by eight. They had to cover an onside kick. Last year we had a beat. They didn't call the targeting call on Haynes King.
Yeah.
Haynes fumbled. We let up two touchdowns in 4 minutes to go in the game. Lost in eight overtimes. Very close. So I'm thinking maybe this will be the year. But I think Georgia. I think Kirby will not allow his team to go. Oh, it's Georgia Tech. There, he'll have them ready. So like I said, I think it's going to mean something for both teams.
Yeah, I think Georgia wins these next two games against Texas and Charlotte. I think Arch Manning's having a good little run right here, but I think this is the type of quarterback that Kirby defense is going to eat up. Even though the Ole Miss guy was brand new, but he's had experience playing college football. Arch is still playing his first
Yeah.
full season.
D2
Right.
Heisman winner.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think Texas loses. I don't know if it'll be close or not. I think just Georgia gets it done, and I think Georgia will be still at one loss going into the Tech game, which we'll do a fun preview. I don't know how the weeks work out, but we'll definitely do a show before then because that game's gonna be massive. Let's go to the Atlanta Braves as they have hired Walt Weiss as their new manager. Before we touch on anything else, initial reaction. I predicted this last time. I like it. Keeping the Braves way intact, hiring within. What are you guys' thoughts?
You go first, Dad.
Uh, a solid hire. I was kind of hoping they maybe bring a Mark DeRosa, or um, maybe a David Ross. I'd like to see a little bit more emotion in the dugout. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we have 20 strikeouts a game, and they walk back to the dugout, and nobody's talking to them. Nobody's saying anything to them. There's no clapping. It's just like, and maybe it's just because Snit was tired and frustrated with all the injuries. But I just feel like we were dead in the dugout. I mean, these, Get in somebody's face. Pull them aside. You struck out 3 times today, and you swung at balls the whole time, Michael Harris. You know, are you going to learn? Okay, you're not going to learn. Then you're going to sit your butt on the bench. We'll play somebody else until you do learn. So look, you keep it in the Braves family. I'm all for that. Sounds like Chipper's going to have a little bit more of an unofficial active role. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
I'm all for a pitching coach so we can stop trying to throw 110 miles an hour and screw up all our elbows of our pitching staff. Maybe we can actually get a pitching coach who can in there and actually show these guys how to actually pitch a game instead of just trying to throw the ball as hard as they can. And we don't have 14 different starters each year. So I just would like to see a little bit more emotion, a little bit more passion, a little bit more accountability. Yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry. Michael Harris should have been benched for at least for a couple of weeks, more than one time this year. He was the worst hitting center fielder in the entire Major League Baseball up until the first the month after the All-Star break.
But his
And yet he's
fielding
playing
was
every
so
day.
good, we can't get rid of him,
Oh, he's
right?
well, hell, if they hit it over your head, it ain't gonna matter if you can field it or not. But I'm okay with the hire. I think it's fine. I just like to see a little bit more accountability held to these guys and get the job done. If you're not getting the job done, there's the bench. Let's find somebody who can.
Agreed. Parker?
I mean, I'm cool with it. It's a safe hire. I feel like a lot of Braves fans, after having someone like Snitker for so long and the recent struggles, they wanted, a young, fresh face like that, like the Tennessee manager who's now the Giants manager. I wouldn't have minded him. But it's a safer pick. It is the Braves way. So like I'm cool with it. It's just not that flashy of a pick,
But it works.
and it works though. So we'll see how it goes. I say give him with this roster. There's no reason not to just immediately make the playoffs. So I say give him like 2 years. If you're not absolutely raking the ball, if you're not doing well and having success in the postseason, then it's time to go that route of the new young successful manager. But
Yeah.
I'll give this a chance. It's definitely not a bad hire. It's the safer pick, I think.
And I like Chipper's endorsement. I mean, it makes me feel better. I'm sure it makes a lot of people feel better. But
Mhm.
Uncle Jim actually coached Braves legend Brian McCann back in high school.
At Duluth,
So
at Duluth, right?
there were some rumors he might come back. But when do we think he might come back into the fold? Is he just not? Is that just not something he might want to do? Or do you think he's just kind of just waiting around? If Chipper gets more involved, maybe he comes in? Is that ever a possibility, you think?
I don't know. The last time I talked to Brian was more than a few years ago. He had just gotten done. He'd just gotten done playing, and his kids were young. His kids were growing up. He enjoyed going to their baseball games, coaching their little league teams. I think the kids are now in middle school, so I think he's got probably more focus right now on his family. I can't be for sure. I know he and Chipper are very close, and so I wouldn't be surprised down the road if the opportunity arises and the Braves want to. I can see down the road him being playing a role. A phenomenal catcher, great athlete. I mean, just knows the game. I mean, he knew the game back in high school. Amazed at the level of knowledge of how to play the game, situational baseball, which made him just a phenomenal catcher. So, I think maybe down the road, yeah. I think he would. Like I said, I haven't talked to him in more than a few years, but I know his kids are at the age where he wants to be active
Yeah.
and being around. So that's probably his focus. But boy, I wouldn't mind one day to look in the Braves dugout and see Brian McCann and Chipper Jones. You couldn't get two better guys who probably, again, their knowledge of the game
Mm-hmm.
and game situations. I mean, look, hey, look, who did Michael Harris said helped him bust out of his slump after the All-Star break? Chipper Jones
Yeah.
went and worked with him, and then for 6 weeks, he's the best hitting center fielder in the game. I'm not saying Chipper's the answer to everything, but the man obviously knows what he's talking about when it comes to hitting a baseball. So,
Unanimous Hall of Famer. So,
oh, absolutely.
um, yeah, that would be nice. We poached some Mets people to join our staff. I don't have the list in front of me because I'm filming on my phone. I'm sure Parker or somebody could find the list of people.
Pull it
But
up.
we have a brand new staff. No one got back. So Rick Kranitz, he's gone. We brought in the Mets. I think the Mets pitching coach and batting coach, or one or the other. So I like how we're poaching from the enemy. I don't think any crazy names on the staff. Chipper will be around, so it's it's like I was saying earlier.
Hired Tony Mansolino to serve as the third base coach.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like
now it's Dustin Garrow, catching coach,
yeah,
Darnell Coles, assistant hitting coach, and Tony Diaz, major league coach, have joined the staff.
Hey, keeping Eddie Perez around. I'm
yeah.
all for that.
Which I was telling Parker last episode, the way the playoffs are now, which I hate,
Oh,
is
my roommate is here.
you can be
What's up, buddy?
mediocre and still make the playoffs. The Reds played under 500 baseball and made the 6th seed. All the Braves have to do is ride the ship and we'll make the postseason. Like with the talent on our roster, we just need someone there that can manage us around those holes or keep players healthy.
I mean, come on. I mean, with our pitching staff, if they stay healthy, even with average years, we're winning 90 games or 85
Yeah.
games. That gets you in the playoffs. But I'm just astonished at the fact that all five starting pitchers got hurt during the year. Three
Yeah.
of them, when they got hurt, never came back. I
It's
mean, are we just teaching these guys to hum it down the middle and throw as hard as you can? It just seems like sometimes there's no game plan to how to pitch, you
mm-hmm.
know? And, I know you got to throw, I know you got to throw hard. Everybody throws hard, but it just seems to me like, what is our approach? What is our approach to the game? How are we going to pitch the game? You know, I mean, I don't know, but it was either just an unbelievable amount of strange bad luck this year, or something's wrong when you got five starting pitchers who all of them except for Sale were really out for the same reason,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
So, but you're right. Shouldn't take that much to make playoffs these days, this day and age. So,
No, especially in our division, I would say, because I would say the Nationals and Marlins are cupcakes. I mean, Marlins had a good season, but, you know, until I see stable success there. And the Phillies got to reload. And the Mets didn't even make the playoffs, having spent the most money ever. So, and we saw in the World Series, you don't have to have a super-duper team to win, as they almost got taken to the line by the Jays, who have spent a little money. But Matt
Does
also
help,
won a
though.
Gold Glove. Drake Baldwin won Rookie of the Year. Good for those guys. I saw something today on the radio. I mean, I didn't hear it, but I saw someone out there saying we should potentially maybe move Sean Murphy if he cannot be our starting everyday catcher, since we have Drake Baldwin. Parker? What are your thoughts on potentially moving Sean Murphy and making Drake the 100-start guy?
I mean, I think he's already better than Sean, and he should be the 100 start guy. But at the same time, I don't know. We had a two catcher rotation for a while when Darno was here, and it worked pretty well.
Yes.
Darno and Contreras, I liked it. It kept them fresh because catchers are more tired than those guys need more rest than any other position other than like pitcher, and they get the rest anyway. So I don't think having two guys around would be a bad idea. Maybe soft bench Sean and let him see if he can figure it out, and then if he is playing really good, maybe ship him away at the trade deadline for whatever needs we have.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, I say just let him stay for now and see how it pans out. See if you can get that
yeah.
Darno Contreras thing like we had when we won the World Series.
Yeah, I don't know
I
why
feel
we
like
got
that
rid of
helped
Contreras in the first
because we're
Oh
place.
God,
stupid.
what a horrible trade that was. He is killing it with the Brewers. I mean, God, to have him and Drake right now. Oh my goodness.
But
But
even,
no,
yeah,
I think you keep Murphy. He's a he's a good catcher. He knows how to handle the staff. He can help Drake become a good pitcher's catcher, other than just a hitter. But it also gives Drake a chance to get off the knees. He can hit, keep the bat in the lineup. He can get off his knees and let do. So I think every good major league team has two good catchers.
yeah.
So and then you got to develop we developed Drake. Now what's down in the farm system? Can we develop another guy over the next year, and then we can let Murphy go after next year and continue with it. So I think you keep both of them.
Yeah, I mean, someone's got to play DH because Ozuna's not coming back. So at least
No.
stick Murphy there or something. But
Hmm.
yeah, AA says he wants to go and have a fifth highest projected payroll this season. So I'm just gonna go off some names that are free agents that we could target. Just you can tell me real quick, yes or no, if you would like that or not, because we're good, but we're a couple big pieces away. So we're losing Ozuna. What are your thoughts on bringing in Pete Alonso?
I hate the guy so much,
I hate him.
but he would be a really good bat to have in our
He
lineup.
would be just. We could just play him at DH.
Mm-hmm.
We just swing 3
Just
times a night.
yeah. His defense sucks at first base too, anyway.
That's why we
So
have Gold Glove Matt Olson. So like,
exactly,
Yeah.
but I think he would cost a
Um,
lot.
he probably would.
well, I think he's sick and tired of watching the Mets crash and burn, to be honest with you. I think he's probably sick and tired of having these $300 payrolls and they can't I get a little comfortable, put my head back. I think he'd probably sign for just a little less to go play for somebody who got a better chance to win because obviously the Mets have been a complete disaster in the
Mm-hmm.
in the playoffs. So I'd be okay with. I don't know what kind of clubhouse guy he is. I don't know if he's a
I heard he's kind of a crybaby.
Yeah.
if he's a crybaby. He probably didn't fit in well with the Braves. The Braves are very structured. They have ways of doing things, and
Mm-hmm.
if you don't get along with the way they do it, you don't get along. So.
Yeah.
But I'd love his bat. Love his bat. Somebody to protect Olson because we didn't have anybody protecting Olson last year. And Olson, hit 22 home runs, 23 home runs, 24
Yeah.
when he hit 54 2 years ago. So we got to get somebody to protect Olson.
Yeah.
What about the man who hit the homer in Game 7 World Series, Bo Bichette, to come in and play our shortstop role?
I was really about to say shortstop. I think is our biggest need since Dansby left,
Yeah.
and Orlando has not produced since that All Star.
Rest in peace.
Yep. And ever since the Bryce Harper thing, he just has not been the same. I would definitely throw money at him. Like, as our biggest offseason
He's going to
pickup.
cost a lot, too. Yeah.
Yeah. Thing
Yeah,
is,
the shortstop is our biggest need. Yeah.
how much are the Jays? Because, like, why would he want to leave the Jays right now?
Money.
So, like, yeah. So, we know baseball players are the least loyal players on the planet.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't put it past him if we just throw good money at him. I'd absolutely take Bo
I
Bichette.
would love Bo Bichette.
I
Yeah,
would.
I would love Bo Bichette too. Absolutely.
I'd give my left hand for him.
There's big pictures, but I don't think that we're gonna go after any big pitchers. Maybe some bullpen guys here and there, like a Devin Williams, something
Yeah.
like that. But the last big free agent I want to ask about is, could we? Now we had Profar, who somehow got through the Brave system with drugs in his system, and then started the regular season and got suspended 80 games. What if we go after Kyle Tucker? Put Ronald back in left, put him in right, and then Michael Harris at center. He would be a lot of money, but if we had Kyle Tucker, I think we win the World Series.
I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah.
Honestly, just if we're gonna spend a lot of money, just go for all the best names and bats you can get. Honestly,
Yeah,
You're only going to be able to get one of those three.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, he would definitely be the
So-
most.
I mean, I would take all three. I would take all three of them or one of those three. They're all good. They're all good pickups.
Yeah,
I'd probably
Um,
take Bo Bichette before anyone else, but
agreed.
I think
I mean,
he's
you got-
better
you got a
price
Bolt-
and
yeah,
just
you
as
got
good
a
of a
Bolt.
bat.
Yeah, you got a bulk of the Braves are signed for many, many years. Acuna signed for years. You got Olson signed through 31. You got Riley signed until 28. You got a lot of the pieces that are signed for long term. So who's the guy who can come in, stay 4 or 5 years, stay 4 or 5 years, work with this crowd that's going to be here for the next 4 or 5 years? Who is that? Probably Bo Bichette because he's
Yeah.
a little younger, right?
Mhm.
So
Would love Bo Bichette. We got about a minute left on the Zoom. I think we're just going to end it here. We talked about it a lot. We're going to quickly. We're going to go to the Hawks real quick. They're playing 500 basketball, like the prophecy says.
Dyson Daniels, maybe Defensive Player of the Year
Real
again. We'll
quickly,
see.
the Pelicans. We have the Pelicans' first-round pick, which is projected to be top 5 this year. Should we go ahead and trade Trae Young before the trade deadline, Uncle Jim, and just restart?
yeah, we haven't given Trey any help for 5 years. And
Yeah.
build up some draft picks, try to get 2 or 3 stars in here, like a lot of the teams are doing these days, is 2 or 3 stars, or get him some help.
Yeah.
Trade away the draft pick for a top flight. Somebody who can help him because it's like it's him and everybody else. And until we get him some help, I think we're going to be what we have been the last 4 or 5 years, is just a mediocre, middle of the road team.
Yes, I agree. Either trade Trae or use a draft pick to get somebody. But we're running out of time. I've been Red Rocket, joined by Uncle Jim. Thank you for coming. Oh